2026. The members in attendance tonight are Cheryl Thompson, Jonathan Ferrari, and me, Steve Morielli. Also in attendance via Zoomland, is our town planner, Niels Tiggeson, and our recorder, Lori Esperschlager. Esperschlager. No, not whatever. This is very important. Okay, and thanks for joining us. Our town board liaison is Liz Weatherby. Liz is not here, right? And also in attendance is Caitlin Olson tonight. I think I saw our town board member, planning board member, Linda Little. Linda's up there somewhere. Thanks for joining us, Linda.
Yep, I'm here. Thanks.
Before we continue, is Jonathan a standing member of the BZA? Is it official? Has it been made official? Yes, thanks. Congratulations. Welcome back. And thanks very much for joining us. It's great to have you back. I said that the agenda, you saw it. Does anyone have anything they want to add to the agenda tonight at the end or at any time? Carol?
Can you move the minutes to the end? Is that, or toward the end?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to just shift the minutes to the end. Get off. We're going off schedule already. We're off schedule. That's fine with me. Those minutes.
Or at least till after the main things.
Yep. I got you.
A point of order, please.
Who is that?
It's Dolores Higuerito. Your microphone, or whether your camera is set up in such a way on Zoom that we cannot see the faces of the people behind the desk. We see the desk, but no faces.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see yourselves though, right?
No.
Before, right?
Oh yeah, we can see it on the screen there.
Yeah. Before.
Better.
How's that? Good?
Terrific. Yes. Thank you very
Nice
much.
to see
I
you.
appreciate it.
Nice that you're seeing us. Thanks
Yeah.
for telling us. Okay, the first item on the agenda is a review of the meeting minutes, so we're going to put off till later, and then we're going to move on to our first new item of new business, which is a proposal by the applicant, the town of Ulysses, on behalf of the owners, Marvin and Allison Pritz, which the town has applied for a minor subdivision for the subject site to subdivide the existing 16.58 acre lot into two lots. Parcel A, approximately 1.37 acres. Parcel B, approximately 15.21 acres. Proposed parcel B would be a flag lot with a proposed width of 38 feet for the pole portion of the lot, where 50 feet is required. So 38 feet where 50 feet is required per the town code of Ulysses CTU 212-130.a. The address is of the lot is 5230 Cold Springs Road with the parcel number 12.4-19.2. Is the appellant or representative here tonight?
I sure am.
Caitlin, good. We're going to state your, come on up and state your case, please.
Good evening to the members of the BZA. Thank you for your service to Ulysses and to the members of the public who are joining us tonight. I'm representing tonight, at least I'm representing the town in this matter. And we have authorization from the donors, Marvin and Allison Pritz, to present on their behalf throughout this process. Back in August of 2025, the town board, after going through numerous months of public information and conversation and public hearings and public feedback, adopted a donation agreement with the Pritz. The Pritz desire to donate approximately 15 acres to the town for the intention is for recreational usage. And the town board is requesting an area variance of 38 feet instead of 50 feet as part of the minor subdivision process. The town board is not requesting a use variance, and any proposed use of the property in the future would be in compliance with current zoning. The town board undertook substantial public engagement throughout 2025 with multiple days of public hearing and comments collected from the public. And I actually can bring it out. I did not grab it on my way in, but I have a folder that I'll share with you that reflects the public feedback that we received in writing from the community. About when we did the calculations, about 80% of the feedback was in favor of the town board accepting the donation, with the acknowledgement right out of the gate when we went through the presentation that there would be a variance necessary to undertake it. The Pritz are proposing to donate effectively two pieces. One is from one parcel, one is from another parcel, to in fact create a third parcel in order to provide the necessary land for a flag lot. Throughout this process, we heard the joys of the public, the desires of the public. We also understandably, and I've been before your board before, concerns from neighbors. And we provided opportunities for those concerned folks to meet in person, one-on-one, as well as collecting their feedback. We made offers to meet that were not sometimes necessarily reciprocated in terms of people desiring, but they definitely had numerous opportunities to share their concerns, and the town board took that very seriously when we heard from them. And as a result of those conversations and messages that we heard from the BZA specifically about looking at methods for mitigation, right? Even though it was done in a rather informal way, we came before you looking for feedback through the environmental review process. And the chair in particular, noted that mitigation sometimes can be the way to carve an acceptable path. And so I heard you, and the town board also wants the property ultimately to be a benefit to both the surrounding neighborhood as well as the greater community. So as a result of those conversations, as a result of that feedback, the town board built mitigation efforts directly into the donation agreement, so that the restrictions on the property, right out of the gate, that ensure that at least for the next 75 years, there will be substantial limits on how the property is used, as well as items that are required for the property to be used. Mitigation efforts include restricting usage to only recreation, as opposed to the myriad other things, right, that towns can do with land that they own. This will not be a housing development in the future. This will not be a highway vehicle storage facility or salt storage or things like that. The donation agreement restricts it to only recreational type activities. Additionally, there are no external illumination would be allowed on the property beyond the limited amount needed for safety. So we're not talking about stadium lights on fields that are useful right until 10 o'clock in November, when the lights disappear, the natural light disappears at 5. We have accepted noise limitations, so we're not talking about projected music that would bother people in the evenings, things like that. And as specifically as it relates to this area variance request, we have already accepted and embraced establishing a fence line along the property on the proposed town-owned side of the property that is adjacent to the neighbor that is not the Pritz. The other side of the driveway would be in fact Pritz-owned property. And it's my understanding, it's a rental property. My understanding is that the renters of that property are supportive of the park. I'm not speaking for them, but that is the information that has been shared with me. But we would, before any kind of driveway access, vehicle access was created, a fence would be installed along the portion that is not owned by the Pritz. And embedded into the donation agreement is also vegetative screening for all of the properties along Cold Springs, and vegetative screening that would allow it to be screening year round, not just deciduous trees that would lose their leaves and change the nature of it, but being able to work with our tree committee to develop a screening process that would allow it to be as hidden as much as possible from both the properties that are adjacent, as well as the when you're on the property itself, you wouldn't be able to necessarily see the residences that surround it. The town board has been open to mitigation efforts to balance the desires and concerns of the neighbors with, the idea of having the town's first recreational park and trying to strike that balance that meets both of those concerns. And I just want to make a few additional points. When the town board considered this donation, in our deliberation process, we were aware that it would require an area variance from existing zoning. And that was no small consideration on our part, right? We know that the zoning exists and we needed to navigate ourselves understanding when do we think it's appropriate to request relief from the existing zoning. And some of the things that we considered were that town-owned roads in the town of Ulysses are 20 feet wide. So a 38-foot wide width would allow space for both a driveway that is accessible for emergency vehicles and traffic flowing both ways. That's big enough for that, plus the fencing that we desired. The other thing I didn't mention on mitigation is in the donation agreement, if when a driveway would be eventually installed, no parking would be allowed it. So we don't want to create a lane of parking along that width either. So we were concerned about people having appropriate vehicular access, as well as be able to get a fire truck or an ambulance down that facility, and that was taken into consideration. We took into consideration that the intended future use of the property is zoning compliant. Parks are an allowed use in both the residential zone, that the first part of the proposed flagpole's in, as well as in the deeper section, which is in the agricultural zone. I had a lot of fun going back through the BZA records. I went back to 2010 and through all the minutes, and it was the county was not making Laserfiche a very searchable tool, so I'm not joking when I say I went back through every section of minutes. The BZA has not, I was looking for precedent. And since the flag lot zoning regulations have been adopted, the BZA has not really had many flag lot considerations. The only one that I was able to find that actually went to completion of a decision was back in 2019, and the BZA at that point approved a 32.83 foot width for a flag lot. I have a copy of those minutes if anybody is interested in seeing those. I was just looking to see if there was any type of precedent, if there was any time that the board had considered it. And my understanding from that decision, I'm not saying they were turning into a park. I wasn't suggesting that from a use standpoint, but from a land use standpoint, an area variance standpoint, that was adopted. And it followed similar types of zoning that we have in this situation, which is the road frontage is in the residential zone and the depth of the large part of the flag lot being in the agricultural zone. We also looked at whether or not there was state regulations that determine flagpole width. And we had the town attorney prepare a memo on the subject while also looking at other comparable communities. And the research shows that Ulysses is at the high end for the width required for a flagpole. In comparison, the town of Dryden, which for most of it probably feels pretty similar to Ulysses in terms of community characteristics, their flagpole minimum width is 25 feet. And I can share this with you. And this is the memo that our town attorney had put together. And Lori, I can make sure you get an electronic copy if there's a physical copy. And if there are any members of the public who are interested in one, can pass them around. All this is to say that there's some degree, a small one-time precedent in Ulysses to reduce the width of a flagpole. And that in our estimation, at the town board's estimation, that the proposal would not adversely impact the safe access to the property or the surrounding neighborhood based on the proposed mitigation efforts that have already been embraced based on public feedback. So, and I'm here to answer any and all questions you might have to the best of my ability.
Great, thank you, Caitlin. I want to make a couple statements. One is precedent is important, but it changes through time, and boards change through time, and we try to be real, I guess, consistent on this board. And the board has recently even changed, so
Sure.
I allow for flexibility, and everything's on a case-by-case basis. We started this whole journey of mine by me stating that, and everyone agreed, the board agreed. And then since then, I've really looked at state law, a bunch of stuff from New York State, more appropriately, but also other places too. And that's the case. This is a case by case thing. So precedent is good. We're very aware of that. So here's one of our precedents. One is that we generally say, is this a substantial ask? Is it a substantial deviation from from whatever rules there are, like guidelines? And 24%, I think that usually goes to the, yes, it's substantial. So it sounds like, well, 12 feet, 12 out of 50 is a good chunk. So I just wanted to put that, say that in there. I'm not saying no, pushing back on you, disagreeing with you. I just think that whole precedent thing is like, yeah, it sounds good on paper, but it's not a real thing. This is a case-by-case basis. And we try to be consistent, and we will continue. And then it's clear in this memo that you just gave us, thanks for that, by the way, that it's really up to the town. It's not up to some other town. It's not up to some other place, even in New York State, and definitely not in other states. And it is up to us. So we do have a 50-foot flagpole. That's what we're going to talk about today. What's you're going to do a buffer of at least a visual buffer along both sides and the road, or just both sides of that flagpole? You said both sides for the property. Right?
So the intent that what the donation agreement lays out already is to do a fence visual buffer along the flagpole, along the driveway, on the side of the property that is not owned by the Pritz.
Okay, right.
There was not a stated desire by the donors to make sure that there was a comparable side one on their own property. Right. And then the property is an interesting property because it has, while it is adjacent to several properties, it's not necessarily visually adjacent to several properties. There are about 3 residential properties, one of which is owned by the Pritz, 2 of which are owned by other property owners that have a clear visual connection. And those are properties along Cold Springs.
Across the street, you're saying?
No, adjacent. They would be able to see the rear section, the large section. Okay. If you look at the property from an aerial standpoint, basically the western side of the property is mostly, it's already a wooded area. Mm-hmm. So there's no house to screen it. There's already vegetation existing there. And then the northern section there's a creek. The Pritz are continuing to own ownership of the land a little bit north of it, and then there's the creek, and then on the other side is the Carpenters, and the Carpenters have expressed public support for the property, for the donation. And then on the eastern boundary, it's owned by the Pritz, who are donating the rest of the land. So the visual screening buffer section in the donation agreement is identified as being along the residential section. We recognize that as being from the feedback we received from the public, that appeared to be the greatest source of concern, is being able to see a park in their backyard. Well, not in their backyard, in their neighbors, in the land behind them, behind their backyards.
Great, thanks. I just wanted to clarify that.
Absolutely.
I think the board's going to have some more questions for you, most likely, as usual. But first, I want to now open the public portion of the hearing in order to hear from comments from the public on the variance request. The variance request, okay. Then I want to stick to that. Yeah. If you'd like to make a comment, don't forget to state your name, please, and limit yourself to brief and relevant comments to this here at hand.
Okay.
Sure.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's Mark Sherman, representing 5250 Cold Springs Road.
Okay,
How are we doing? Happy New Year.
You too. Thank you.
Interesting. We haven't been participating too much here. Um, and my question is about the variance. My two sons actually own the property. I just take care of everything. And actually, I think my one son's on Zoom. But anyways, this is where we're concerned. There has been discussion of a fence. And somebody asked about it. I think it was another gal when they were first talking about this roadway. I don't know. I'm not going back and forth or whatever. I don't know what the 32-foot agreement was on. That's a whole different issue and it doesn't matter. This is going to be pretty high volume. And it's been stated, it's so close to school that there'll be a lot of walking and foot traffic. So my question is there a plan, something etched in stone? This roadway, I would hope it's going to be blacktop, not gravel and dust and stone noise and whatever. The other question comes into play. The fence, where does how close do you build to the property line? But more importantly, to put the roadway down through there in blacktop, there's going to have to be some kind of a ditch, or what are we going to do with all that water runoff? Because it's a grade going down in there. And with foot traffic being proposed the way it is there going to be provisions for a sidewalk along the way for safety or whatever? So I guess with what's going to be or should be or could be there, this variance is really, it's kind of a big deal. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a quarter of the 50 foot was made for a reason originally. And this isn't like a household or a farm driveway or an occasional. There's going to be lots and lots of traffic with these ball fields and tournaments. And we're honest to goodness, we're not against the field, the whole deal, but this driveway is a huge, I can't think of the word. I'm not a smooth speaker, but it's opening up the boys' property, the foot traffic and everything. It's going to be a bit life-changing, I will say. So I guess I'd like all that considered, that it's not just going to be a little in and out park. It's not the Jacksonville Pond or whatever. And there's more concerns than just putting the road in. Like I say, there's a lot of water runoff if you have a blacktop driveway or road, so it's not just a fence and a lane down through there. So I just like all these things considered and appreciate everybody's time. Try to be respectful as I can, but
Appreciate your comments, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Okay, did we have someone else to want to speak here? Is there anyone in Zoom land online that would like to speak? Yes, I see a hand up.
Yes.
Dolores?
Okay, I'm Dolores Higuerita. I live
Yes.
at 35 Bradley Street here in the village. And I would like to say that I'm in agreement, firstly, of the park. I think it'd be a wonderful asset for the town as well as the village. But I also would like to say that I'm hoping that the town Board of Zoning Appeals will seriously consider allowing the change for the roadway. I can understand that they will need something for emergency vehicles and such, or maybe even maintenance trucks to go through and do some cleanup. I don't know. But I think it'd be a good asset for the park. It will also, from what I understand, the park does have a plan for a parking area that I'm guessing would be separate from the driveway. I'm not positive. I haven't seen the latest drawings, but the one I saw at their open house indicated some roadway sort of just off the road parking. So I think it'd be a good thing to do. And I'm hoping you will agree and pass that along with the rest of the members and pass that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dolores. Great, thanks. Any other comments? Oh, yes, sure.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Menino. I live at 124 Tamarack Lane, Trumansburg. And I'm in support of the park because it's healthy. Parks are healthy for the community. It's a place to gather. It's very important and it's going to be free and accessible to all. So I'm in support of that. I have deep consideration for the neighbors. I understand the fears. I live in the neighborhood where the Ithaca neighborhood housing happened. And 10 years ago, when it was being proposed, people were very concerned. What would it look like? Would there be too much traffic? Would it be ugly? Do we need barriers? It's blending nicely. It's beautiful. I mean, so it hasn't, we don't have this negative impact and also not on our homes at all. In fact, the home value is high anytime anybody puts their house on the market. I would think this would be the same thing. So I'm in support of it because of health reasons, and I do appreciate the mitigation efforts that the town has put in place for the vegetation, for year-round vegetation, for the beauty of it all. There's so much being considered. I really appreciate that. I find that the town, all the way through, has been responsive to the community's needs. So I do appreciate the work of the town and the work of the BZA here. Thank you. I know it's all volunteer work. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Menino. Appreciate the comments too. I'm giving a beat here if anybody else wants to comment. I think I want to.
There's someone online.
What?
There's someone online.
Was it a hand up? Oh, yeah, great.
Hi.
Please, I can't see your name from here.
Hi, sure. My name is Sage Peak. I live at 5094 Cold Springs Road. And I wanted to just voice my support for the park. It's just a few houses down from us. And I also understand the concerns. I hear that. I want to just highlight, sometimes it's about not letting perfection get in the way of progress. And so I understand the need for consistency. It's part of what I do for my work, but I also say I can't let rigidity get in my way of seeing things a little bit differently when needed as well. So I think that that's important to consider. And I also think, things like sidewalks. I mean, as a person who walks a lot on our road all through Trumansburg, the majority of our roads do not have any sidewalks. I just want to note that. So I just want to make sure that we're not getting stuck into thinking that everything has to be perfect to make it work. That's it. So thanks for your consideration and everybody's thoughts here. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Pete. Nice comments. I see another question up there. If you have a question up there,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do. So I like to also express my vote for the park. I understand that we need to hear everyone's concerns and they should be respected. But I also have a concern that we should not lose the opportunity for the community to have a place to connect with overall with the other members of the community. I'm a relatively new person, so I appreciate having a spot in the community to engage with others. So I want to say again, I vote for the park. Thank you.
Thanks for the comments. I didn't get your name. I'm sorry.
My name is Karen Guthrie. I live on Seneca and 96. I am part of Ulysses, just on the edge.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, very helpful comments. I think I want to direct, maybe just call on you, Caitlin, there was just a couple of things early on. There were more questions from Mr. Sherman. Some of them were good. They were good questions. So, hard surface on the driveway, a couple other little things he had asked me.
So I would say that the town has not adopted any design plans yet.
Okay.
The designs are a ways out. We did partner with Cornell Design Connect in the fall. And Cornell Design Connect, I imagine you probably know who they are, but for anybody in the public who's not familiar with them, it's a student organization that was formed in 2008. That is quasi-formalized within the university system. They have faculty advisors. Students can get some credit for participating in it. And every semester, it's a different number of projects and a different configuration of students. It primarily attracts students in planning, architecture, art, and then, a variety of other types of fields can participate as well. And it's a combination of undergrad and graduate students. And every year, organizations and municipalities can apply to work with them, and they provide some services. In the case of Ulysses, they were able to help us gather what they believe is a record-setting number of public participation connections in their history. They did a survey for us and gathered feedback from over 500 participants. And then they did two open houses, one down at the Racker Center, one at Town Hall, where the public could come and engage with them directly as well. And so they got a lot of feedback about what the community would like to see in the space. And this was a relatively very inexpensive project for the town to support, because we were, the students are gaining professional experience in doing it. So it's a win-win. They did put together a concept plan based on public feedback and open that up. And that plan is now available. But that plan has not been adopted by the town board. That plan has not gone through any formal review. If we were to adopt a plan, we would have to go to an actual a professional designer to do all the things necessary that Ulysses law requires for site plan. So I think it's very fair to say, based on the configuration of the parcel, that the only reasonable access to a road is through this proposed 38-foot width. What that looks like, we are not in a position to say. What I did share is based on a donation agreement that has been accepted by the town and by the property donor. And so those are more fixed things that we would do, that the owner wants us to do in order to be able to establish a driveway. But it would be incredibly irresponsible for me to say that the town board has made any decision on any final designs whatsoever. So I would be remiss if I said something along the lines of, well, it's going to be asphalt and it's going to be this size of crushed stone. So yeah, no,
it's nice to have these things to be considered.
Absolutely.
Water runoff and
impermeable and in Ulysses, based on at least one of your BZA members, they have lots of opinions on asphalt and what kind of asphalt could be used. Andy Hillman has great experience with permeable asphalt. So we're not proposing anything right now. We're simply coming for an area variance in this juncture.
Great. So that was good. Helpful comments. So all these things are going to help people consider as they go along. And what we're concentrating on here today is the 38 feet versus 50 feet. That's what we're concentrating. That's in our purview. We do consider a lot of these other variables, and certainly we're town members and we care about this, but I think that was helpful. You heard a lot of these comments?
Absolutely.
And a lot of others too.
Sure.
Thanks, Caitlin. Appreciate it. I want to open it up, ask the board members, do you have any questions, direct questions, or this is the time to put forth any concerns?
Caitlin, in the design by the students.
Oh, first, I'm sorry. I want to close the public portion of the meeting right now. I think there's no more comments, so I'll be closing the public portion. Thank you. Sorry.
Do they have a sidewalk?
That's a great question. Let me see if I can find that answer for you rather quickly. I honestly don't remember off the top of my head. I don't remember there being a sidewalk, but let me see if I can find that quickly. They didn't go to that level of articulation. So I'm looking at it right now. And for any members of the public who wish to follow along to what I was looking at, on the town's main webpage, if you go to current issues, right on the right-hand side, the top thing is the Cold Springs Park Road, or then Cold Springs Road Park. And the first item under there is the draft plan put together. So they didn't, this is more of a concept plan, and then going to that level of detail. It's clearly an access, but it's not articulated to that
Is there
degree.
any other route to enter the park on foot?
Not as proposed, and not in what we were asking for. And that's for a number of reasons. The largest reason is we could have the proposed land to be created as a new tax parcel could have been zoning compliant had we come to you for a variance request, an area variance request for the residential property that the Pritz also own. But the proposal maintains zoning compliance for that residential parcel where we're pulling off basically the westernish, because it's not perfectly lined up directionally, but western-ish side of the residential property to create the flagpole. The residential property itself is zoning compliant. It got moved over as far as we could.
And would that property have been too small
Yeah,
area
what's
wise, or
It wouldn't have enough frontage. So the area frontage, so we could be compliant with the this land if we had eaten up more of that property, but then the residential property would not have been zoning compliant. So we'd be here either way.
What was the difference on that?
12 feet. It's 12 feet. We're short 12 feet.
Well, I know the feet, but what was it was 12 feet, it's exactly compliant right now?
So it's exactly compliant right now. The line has been drawn so that we could be as compliant as possible.
it says 162 feet right
So we're 2 feet off. So it would have gotten us to 140. But and I couldn't tell you exactly why that 2 feet was, but that's what it was marked out to be, and was kind of where we are.
It's good, because we need to explore, like, were there other
Sure.
alternatives to this? And that's,
Absolutely.
that's an obvious one, but
It is.
isn't there a little bit of a ditch there or something? What made that mark right there, do you know?
Part of it's trees. Part of it is there's a septic field that we have that we're in the process of working more than a year ago. The head of the DPW, Scott Stewart, and I met with Tompkins County Whole Health to explore. We need to relocate the septic field. When we met with them in January of 2025, they saw no problem with the relocation. And so we have an application in the works with them to pull the permit. We wouldn't do the work until after it was, the land changed ownership. But within
Is the driveway going over the septic field right now?
going over the septic field right now, but what Whole Health told us was that doesn't really matter as long as you haven't constructed anything and you work out the legal, we would have built into our closing documents would basically be an easement, so that we could have the right to move everything. It's already built into our donation agreement that we have the right to move that septic field.
Tompkins County's okay with it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they would be on site. They're going to do our engineering work for us, and provided that the tank's from the 1990s, so they're anticipating it's fine. And so we may have to move, we may have to change a piece of pipe, but it's really more of a shifting of the septic field. So they did not flag any issues
That's all
for
on the
us.
Princess property?
Yes, it will all be on the Pritz's property. Yeah, the current septic field is completely on the Pritz's property. It just and what they shared with us is they weren't concerned about the safety of the septic field until a driveway was constructed on top of it. So a condition in the donation agreement of constructing it is having that septic field moved. So that's where we are.
Can we just confirm when Neil said it's 160? I can't remember.
160 is for the residential, is for R1, but that's
you
true,
guys-
you guys can also confirm that.
He's up there.
Was that a question just confirming zoning code for the next door neighbor as 160?
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. And the area would have been fine?
Lot area is fine. Yep.
Thank you.
Jonathan, you have any?
Guess my only comment would be that I'm extremely sympathetic to neighbors' concerns for many reasons. One of them being I've been in a personal situation in my property that where there's a large development going on, and it's impacted our our property in a way that was unforeseen. That said, I think the best way to resolve that, and this is how my neighbor has worked with me very closely in consulting right all along to see, make sure that I was happy to the maximum possible given the circumstances. So I think that it's imperative that the town of Ulysses works very closely with the neighbors to try to address all of the concerns that they have as best as possible. I feel like I'm absolutely behind the park and the land and nation. I think that as an architect, there are many ways usually to solve a problem, and a 38-foot right of way could accommodate sidewalk, I think, or pathway of some sort, the driveway, as well as screening. It's a matter of being creative in choices. Now, obviously, I haven't looked at it closely, but I think being in the profession of solving problems constantly, there's usually an solution that will make everybody happy. Not always, but in general, if people come to the table, with common goals in mind, that can happen. I guess one final comment, would be that the closest person to this project is the most impacted, but also potentially the biggest beneficiary to use it. My brother grew up, or my brother's kids grew up next to a park, and they're phenomenal soccer players because they were there all the time. So that's it.
May I just comment on that?
Very briefly.
Real brief. I've invited anybody on the boards that hasn't. I would invite you to come out and stand on the property just to personally get a feel in your heart to see what you say. So I'll leave you my number or whatever, but take a ride out, meet me out there, and I'd love to have you physically see it.
Sure.
So you can understand just a touch better.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good comments, thanks. And I think it's important and imperative to keep listening. You guys are doing a pretty darn good job so far. Not steamrolling this to
don't want to do that.
pushing it on everybody.
I did want to follow up and to say that the Shermans were very gracious and did sit down with me and with Liz Weatherby, who's also on the town board, to talk through some of these issues. And I would not go so far, and I certainly would never speak for you, but I would never go so far to say they were happy with it, because I think that's, but they definitely, we definitely heard them. And our responses have been in an attempt to reduce the adverse impacts to their property based on that conversation. And so,
Right. Yeah, and I get that fully too, because I'm not happy with what's going on.
I get it.
With my neighbor's property.
But like she said, my son went met and everything, it's all good. But you can't blame us for marrying or whatever. If, like they say, if you were in our shoes, that's also.
I understand.
So the fence will definitely be on that 38-foot section.
It would be on the 38-foot section owned by the town. Yes. It's proposed to be owned by the
And
town.
they put it over on their, so they don't want it on their side, that's the
No,
problem.
yeah.
They
I mean,
don't need it on their side. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's, I think the town is amenable to whatever mitigation that can be appropriately done.
Mhm.
This is what we're proposing, but if the BZA finds that there are other mitigations that we did not think of, I can comfortably speak for the board that we are open to further recommendations. The things that we put into it were based on concerns that we heard and our best attempt to mitigate as best as possible. So.
And the mitigations you're talking about are the fence on the side of the driveway and trees behind them.
Trees behind, the lighting, noise.
Yep.
Those are the things that were are embedded in the donation agreement.
No parking along driveway, you said.
Right, no parking
Only
along the
recreation,
driveway.
No other.
Right, no other
uses.
potential use
And I
except
wanted to ask you
recreation.
about hours of operation or hours of.
So outdoor without no lighting is effectively dawn to dusk. If you don't have external illumination, that's
Is there
not
any
a.
enforcement of that or anything?
I'm sure we are definitely supportive of enforcing that, right? We don't want, nobody wants that. And there are already models of, fortunately technology has caught up a lot. Our friends in the town of Newfield have a community park, and for very reasonable cost, they've been able to put in security, like visual security for monitoring, because we want public spaces to be safe, accessible, and not used when they're not supposed to be open. So dawn to dusk is also thoroughly appropriate for outdoor usage.
And some of our properties, torn up properties, the problems are not all the rest of the time. It's always Friday night and
Sure.
Saturday. It's just,
Absolutely. Well, and we had you may already know, members of the public may not know, the town of Ulysses actually has a cooperative relationship with the village of Trumansburg. Not every village police force has policing powers outside the village itself. And in the town of Ulysses, the village police officers actually have policing force outside. So you may see them on roads that are outside of the town, doing their jobs. And we have that, and it predates me. I hate to take no credit for it, but it's a wonderful thing, because then if there are issues, in addition to the state police and the sheriffs who have limited coverage in our area but do cover us, the village is quite close and can respond. So
good, right. I'm just trying to
absolutely
account for the neighbors, that, any potential problems in the neighborhood. Anything else?
I'm thinking I would like to propose that we do a condition that they
sure.
have some sort of permeable paver that cuts down on dust, a paving, permeable surface on the driveway that reduces dust. We put that at the end of the
Kind of a both.
variance resolution.
Permeable, that takes care of one of my big deals in reducing dust. And I think you're right. Andy's got some good advice on that.
he does. We got real close to doing it back at town hall, and it just was not financially feasible. So yeah, it gets pricey. But when you're doing a new project, it's a different scenario.
Yeah, good point. Any points you'd like to? What do you think about that? Is it okay? We like to write in a condition of approval.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely appropriate, especially if there's going to be significant traffic. And then there's going to dust cloud.
We don't want to say exactly what right now, but are you okay with that?
Something,
I would. The town is very comfortable with that. Yes.
Yeah, I would just say some sort of a method for maybe dust. And
Permeability. So we don't want water running off, and we don't.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Want to string together something? If we're good with discussion, we could put this resolution to.
Is it maybe also the some sort of a pedestrian pathway? Does there have to be a sidewalk? Is that appropriate for safety reasons?
It's appropriate. That's it. What do you say?
I don't know that. I mean, people have a room and the kids can walk on it.
Yeah, right. And that's what I mean. Just as long as there's a
they're gonna have
space
the
for
whole
them to
area,
walk. Yeah.
Seems like they would want some kind of boundary on the other side, just so they're not walking through that other yard. I guess they don't care about that.
Well, that's Prince's property.
Yeah.
That is-
Right, that's.
their property. I don't know, I feel like I try to stick with our 5 statutes that we really address. Safety is not one of them, although it's something we want to consider, obviously, but, or if it's a safety thing, is that what you're saying? It's like
Yeah, that's what it, right, so for kids walking. I mean,
something you might want to consider.
It is, yeah,
No disagreement.
yeah.
I feel like it's
No disagreement.
a little bit outside our purview, it's
Yeah.
environmental, it's not, care to the neighborhood, it's not, the
Right.
5.
I'm just used to always having to deal with health, safety and welfare.
Yeah.
It would help me, can you embed, I don't know this, can you embed it as a recommendation that's not, and
That
because
sounds
a
good.
recommendation
Just a
would honestly
recommend.
make my life easier if you ask
Yes.
for it, because
Yeah,
I would
no,
love to
that's
see
good.
that,
Yeah.
so I would embrace that and it
Right.
helps.
We would
so-
recommend.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to make a condition of
Yeah,
approval.
yeah, just a recommendation, sure. And
What do you
no,
think, Shane?
no specific criteria of what that means, but just that.
Yeah,
should
good,
be some-
and a recommendation, that we
Yeah.
recommend. Everything.
Do we have a resolution for this? This is just for requesting the planning board to review the application.
I think that, we're gonna ask Niels. So Niels, we're faced right here with a resolution number and something that we sign at the end. And.
Are we doing the actual
It's not the usual.
variance tonight?
Yeah, so you're procedurally under state law, you can't make a decision now. The first step is you have to ask the planning board for a recommendation.
Okay, right.
So that's what this draft is for. So if you take action on that, the planning board would review it on February 3rd, and then you potentially could take action on February 18th.
So we're basically signing off on the number one, the BZA request the planning board. That's what we're signing off on.
Correct. There's a statute in state law that says any variance required for a lot in a plat, the BZA must ask for a written recommendation from the planning board.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so this will come back to us, by the way, after they approve?
Correct. So the planning board should have this on their docket for the 3rd, if you take action tonight. And then they should, presumably they will offer a recommendation and any comments to you for your review on the February 18th.
So when's the appropriate time for us to add a couple of statements, like condition maybe, and then a suggestion? When is that?
That would be on the 18th.
Well, we did our homework then.
Right.
Great.
Right.
Yeah, we're good.
You're
We're
happy.
good. So our job is to approve or not approve this to go to the planning board, correct?
Correct. Just running this through, if the BZA denies this, then it effectively kills the project.
We're not doing it.
That's fine. So I'm going to take a vote, and we have 3 people here, so all 3 people have to agree. Correct? Passed to.
Correct.
Okay. You guys ready for a vote?
Yeah.
All right, so this is just to go forward. You have to understand what we're doing here. We're just going to put this
Yes.
forward to the. All right, good.
The Board of Zoning Appeals hereby requests the planning board review the application for the area variance at their next available meeting and provide written recommendation on the area variance in a timely fashion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 So that's 3. It's unanimous. There's 3 of us, and that carries. Thanks,
Thank
and
you
we'll
very
see everybody again pretty soon.
Well, I
Nice-
will,
Nice job.
thank you, I appreciate your time. You will see me online because your next meeting falls during winter break, and I will be I already had tickets to California, so I apologize.
Oh,
I'll be
no
online.
flight.
Liz Weather will be here in person to represent the town's
Well, thank
interest. So
So we'll be
you'll have
hearing-
somebody else, but I
we'll be
will.
hearing dolphins in the background.
There,
and you'll
I
say,
will put
"Oh,
on a
it's so
coat.
hot."
I will pretend it's miserable.
Yeah.
Trust me. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Caitlin.
everybody.
Okay, good. So that passes. I'll sign that, and that's all we're gonna need, right? I mean that.
Yeah, I
before we
think
leave?
so. That's what it sounds like.
Good.
Okay,
So.
and then this one is similar, right? We're not really.
Well,
doing
this
that,
one, we're gonna have discussion, so,
But we're not doing a variance.
correct. All right. Looks good. That's good. Maybe had three people here that did-
Yeah.
Right forward. I don't think we would have done this without this. It's really not good. All right, this second item of new business is a discussion only concerning the proposal by the Mr. Sherman. Hold on, Mr. Sherman.
Yes, sir.
Can you hold on a second? I just want to.
Apologize.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Thanks for your input too, by the way. Discussion concerning the proposal by the applicant and property owner, Victoria Wilson, who proposes a renovation of an existing detached accessory building into a two-story accessory dwelling unit, ADU. The proposed request is a setback of plus or minus 9 feet from the mean high water mark, where for the application 50 feet is required. So 9 feet to the watermark as opposed to 50 feet. Okay, so I want to say the board should consider the information in the memo provided that we got and the applicant submission items that were presented. We should create a checklist of additional items the board might require, if any, from the applicant in order to facilitate deliberations in the future. Consider providing comments to the planning board on the environmental review and discuss the timeline for potential future public hearing. So we're removed from the public hearing, potential public hearing. We may not even get to a potential public hearing. Okay. And that doesn't mean we're going to ignore it. It just means that we need to see a lot more. I feel we need to see a lot more than what's presented here and discuss with you, which we can start doing that tonight.
Yep.
So you want to present to us your case?
Yes. So my name is Eric Ma. I'm with Space Architectural Studio. I have Victoria Wilson here with me. She's the property owner.
Hello.
So we've submitted some pictures of the existing structure that's there now. It's very simply
That little shed?
Yeah, a block building with a shed roof on it.
Do you have that?
They were,
The ones that were just on the shore
yeah.
with the
We can talk about the stuff that you just got recent, probably today.
today.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, let's see. You have a picture of a
So there's a number of
Front
pictures
row.
of the existing building. If you don't have them, I've got a copy of them.
you do?
I did.
Any of these? You
Yes,
have
sir.
those?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Did you see those? Yeah. Okay.
And then there's a larger one on the second
And
sheet.
is excavation going on already? at the
They
site?
were just in there cleaning some stuff out. Yeah, they're not doing anything with the building.
You got all those? Okay, great.
So our plan is to demolish that building down to the foundation and build up with a wood structure in the existing footprint. And then obviously, I mean, it's
So
8
this
by.
is also the building, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both sides of the paper.
So, I mean, the existing building, I think, is 8 by 14. So
Okay.
there's not much that you're gonna do with it other than use it. Like right now, I think there's 2 fishing poles in it. So the property owner
Tiny house.
is looking to create a small guest house, something that's a lot more appealing, something that's more usable. And of course, the only way to do that, in my opinion, was to go vertical. So I put a floor on it. I cantilevered the floor out 2 feet all the way around. And then just to take advantage of that beautiful view, we wrapped it with a deck as well. So that obviously creates some issues. Some of those issues are, so right now I'm supporting that deck with steel pipes on the outside of the building. So it's about 6 feet all the way around the outside of the building. I've got some steel
You're
pipes.
talking in the present, but you're really talking about your plans for the future.
Talking about, yeah, what our plan is to build it.
Yep, got it.
And then there's a couple of those columns that end up inside the floodplain You should have a revised, it's a S2 sheet. That Neil's pointed out some issues I should probably take care of before the
What were
meeting.
they? What were the issues?
So the one issue was that he wanted me to show the floodplain elevation and the contours. He wanted me to hatch the area of the deck, and I think there's a little bit of the second floor that overhangs the floodplain. And he wanted to attach a square footage number to that hatch region. It was like 80.8 square feet. And then he wanted me to delineate the lines that form the deck on the outside, because I just had the second floor at that point. I think that covers all of it. So all that stuff should be shown with a cloud, just kind of showing everything that has changed.
Is
Oh, please.
Sure. Yeah,
are we
yeah.
open to?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
this is a discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's free.
This is not a public hearing,
No,
right?
This is not a hearing, so. we're
No.
not- it's-
just
Yeah.
us
this is the
and-
first time I've seen y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, I have a few questions
Please.
about I'm assuming there's some sort of an injector pump system.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah. So we're gonna end up, we'll put a grinder pump in.
Yeah.
And that's gonna go all the way back up the hill. We worked with the county to develop the conversion. So we did a conversion application with Whole Health, and you guys should have that as well, I would think.
What's a conversion application?
Basically, you have to apply to them, so essentially you don't have to completely rebuild your septic system. In the event, there's basically saying if it doesn't work in the future, then you have to do this, and this.
Oh, yeah, right, because you're adding a bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've run into that.
Yeah. So you're talking about the sewer system that's up on the top of
Correct.
the leach field and all that,
Yeah.
right? Because that's where you're pumping to.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to see a cross-sectional elevation, or cross-section through this contours that locates exactly where that the basin or the tank where this house is in relation to that high water mark, because any tank that's holding sewage should either be guaranteed to have a seal, be a seal,
Right? Yeah.
or it has to be above
Yeah. So
the flood, that high water mark.
So we're working with Andy. I'm gonna absolutely trash it, but it's like Ciabatta,
Sharaba.
Sharaba,
Yeah. Okay.
on all this, and
Yeah.
he was in the process of trying to find out what the elevation was.
Okay.
That was the critical number.
Yeah.
Apparently, he has not gotten that. I'm
Right.
supposed to be on a call with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's being addressed.
Okay, great. Because it seems to me that if that's going to be if there's any risk that sewage could leak from that tank into the lake or into the gravel, which is fully
Because of
permeated.
drinking water there.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not good.
Yeah, that maybe having putting the bathroom or all the plumbing on the second floor, so everything can be elevated,
Right.
or working on some other way of planning for that.
Okay.
If that's an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple things, but one of them is, I just, maybe knee-jerk reaction, but how high is this gonna be?
I wanted
Right now,
to,
it's only, how high is it right now?
maybe 12 feet,
Okay, and then you're proposing to go to what?
24.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just cool to that, putting buildings right up by the shore there and.
So the issue with that is, without being able to do that, we're gonna go nowhere. literally. It's just gonna end up being the shed.
Right.
If you can't, so if you can't go to
But
that,
when you do this, you're also then asking for a second. You're hitting two
variance,
things,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
One of them is you can't change the height. You
Yeah.
can change you can't change the existing footprint.
Yeah.
Of a, non-conforming building.
correct. And we're
Can't-
doing,
can't
that
change the
with the
height.
staircase.
Do
So
it.
we are expanding a non-conforming building with the staircase.
So
that
you're
comes up.
expanding it, this way
Raising it.
area, and you're raising it,
Yeah.
and you're, really close to the water. So all three things. The second you start to embark on this, right?
Yes. And unfortunately, the distance to the lake is strictly, it's because it's the existing building.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, yeah, we're not,
Yeah, if you didn't do anything but just replace the footprint and done change the thing, you wouldn't be here.
we're still looking for variance.
You wouldn't be here. No, you wouldn't.
If we're building on the existing footprint,
I think not. Is that true, Niels?
So the non-conforming clause, for everyone, if say the structure was demolished or destroyed and you had to rebuild, you could rebuild in the same footprint up to the same height. But once you go any higher, that's variance. If you expand it, that needs a variance.
Right. So the question was, even though you're close to the water's edge, you can still just rebuild in that footprint and you wouldn't need a variance, correct?
Correct.
Is there a use variance required too, since this is just a shed?
No, to use variance.
Okay.
No, I think that's acceptable.
Okay. So we can change
Meals,
Yes.
if they just built on the footprint, but they went higher, they would still need a variance to go higher, but would they need a variance for being
Yes.
too close to the lake?
Yes.
If it's on the same footprint and there is no deck or support for the deck, if it's just going straight up, it doesn't need a variance from the lake. It's already there. It would just be because it's going higher than what's existing.
Is that for sure? I thought that when you made changes, you went all the way back to square one.
No, it's a structure that existed prior to code, so it's what is called a legally non-conforming structure.
Sure.
So,
right.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. Good question. Good answer.
Good idea. To do
Just
that.
going higher.
Yeah, if you
Not
want to
my
get past
favorite
you,
thing.
I think you should try doing that.
It's not my favorite thing.
Well, it's
They're
better
going
than
higher.
getting closer to the lake.
it doesn't sound like it.
So,
But,
so
okay, go ahead.
why not put the porch deck on the top, on the roof, rather
right, I was gonna ask that too.
than expand, so you only have one variance?
Or just cantilever it a little bit.
So that's still gonna, well, right, that's true, then you wouldn't have to have.
If it doesn't have a roof and it doesn't have supports, you could cantilever the deck, but you can do the 2 feet and the deck.
Right.
But if getting closer to
Yeah,
the
but
lake, all these things together is like
That,
a
We
I
haven't
big
talked
ask
about the
I think there's a
closest to the lake.
limit for the footprint of,
to overhang a
I think
line
it's just the eaves, you get a certain amount of distance.
for probably not.
Oh, before it's actually encroaching on
Yeah,
that.
before you're going.
Yeah, and some people pay attention to that,
Meals
some
would
people
have
don't.
that,
Yeah.
but-
Does the open, Niels, does the open deck count as a building or whatever, and the going over the line or going closer to the lake if it doesn't have supports and it doesn't have a roof?
A cantilevered porch.
And if it's up above the ground.
That's what we did. We talked about the deck, but most of it's open deck, so it's okay. It was encroaching on the side on the line.
We did say it's open
It looks like your staircase, you could
deck.
probably
It's better
access
than-
the roof from.
It wasn't bulky. I think
directly
that's why
from
we're
the
kind of.
staircase too.
It's still encroaching.
Makes
It only goes from the shore up to the second floor. You're saying double it up?
No, that, isn't there a, oh, it's a tram, never mind.
Yeah, that's a tram on the
Got
other
it. I
side.
was
So,
thinking it was a walkway.
yeah, that goes back. I mean, we can talk more about that with the deck, but another plan was to make the tram stop at the deck level. Add
Right.
another stop to it, so it would stop at the deck level, but it doesn't really help any of the other stuff.
So the tram hasn't started yet, right? The
Oh, no,
construction?
it's installed.
It is? You finished with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But we do have a staircase.
Yeah.
A separate staircase.
Oh, there is.
From the cliff.
Oh, Because that could be a way of accessing the, sort of accessing the building onto the roof, and then, anyway, just thoughts about how to not have multiple variances.
Yeah.
And be able to use the.
So my
outside
thought with that is if somebody's down there staying, they would have to turn around, walk up all the steps over there to get to the roof and then somehow get down to the floor.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Still all, right, they gotta be able to get down to the lake and, yeah. So it's it would be 3 levels.
Yeah. And then does that make it a 3rd story?
I wouldn't think so.
I would
It's
hope
just
not.
a railing, yeah.
Let the building architects
So,
or experts talk.
What are the 3?
first.
So the 3 variances would be
Distance from the lake.
distance from the lake.
Yeah. And then
the
Getting higher and getting bigger.
and then-
expansion of non-conforming.
Okay.
And getting higher,
And so there was a question about, Niels, you have your hand up?
Yeah,
The
just getting back to Cheryl's question on the deck, and I think it's a bit confusing issues between setback intrusions versus lot coverage.
Right.
And so Ulysses zoning code isn't very prescriptive in this particular discussion. So I would interpret in this case any structural support for a building that's going into a setback as being that delineating line, not necessarily a cantilevered portion. So if there was a cantilevered portion, I would not consider that to be going into a setback, but you as a BZA have that you have the authority to interpret that code differently. As far as lot coverage, though, I think so. Lot coverage is a different thing when you're talking about decks that don't have any roof, and that's a whole other issue. They're under their lot coverage. They're not going to be getting to that part at all.
Wait, can you say the part about lot coverage? They do count in lot coverage calculations? Or they don't?
If a deck has an impervious roof, yes, it does count as lot coverage.
But if it doesn't,
It does not.
it does not, and we
Yeah, that was gonna be another question, is that if the deck is impervious, then you're preventing rain from infiltrating in that, you're essentially.
it becomes a roof.
Yeah,
It's a roof,
you're
right?
increasing your.
Impervious, and
Yeah,
You're-
I'm just
you also
picturing
got to deal with the
it.
runoff off that new roof.
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
So we talked to the planning board a little bit about that yesterday.
Yeah.
We told them that we were gonna put a gutter up and just run a downspout
Where's it going?
right down to the ground,
Where?
probably behind the building. Yes. So, I mean, it's nothing but like slate rocks.
Right.
So there's no soil there.
Mhm.
I don't think there's much of an issue there.
No, that should be fine that's all shale. That
It is.
whole edge is shale.
Yeah.
It's not gonna run off. It'll just soak right in. Matter of fact, when you dig those if you were to dig those post holes, they're gonna fill with water immediately.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's
Mhm.
that's all
You're tapping
at
that
whatever,
groundwater.
whatever the lake level is.
Sure. You're pulling. Just a couple considerations.
Go ahead.
When you're showing the lake level and mean high water, or which one are you using?
Mean high water.
Okay, and you're using that, and then when you do floods, so if you're looking at floods, I have
That was
diagram here.
literally the flood elevation that I took off of the FEMA map.
Yeah, for what though? What flood? 100-year,
100
500-year?
100.
So the line of floodplain elevation, that's the 100-year line.
I think that's 385.6 maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the 100.
elevation,
that's the
yeah.
100-year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 100. So
Yeah, the mean high water is 92 feet from there.
92 feet.
It says plus or minus 92 feet.
Oh,
Oh,
maybe
was that
9.2?
Oh, sorry, 9.2.
9.2,
I was gonna
right,
say
that's
that's
the
crazy.
whole thing,
Right,
right?
right, yeah. I know. I kept looking at it. I'm like,
well, why are we here?
Right, yeah.
It's over 75. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got dimensions on all of those posts to mean high water.
So the considerations for you are, that's all well and good, regulations and all that. But the water does go up
Mhm.
and you do have high water, not just mean, and it's getting more. And how many 100-year floods have we had recently?
Probably too many.
Well, quite a few.
I haven't counted
So
them,
the
but
100-year
yeah.
flood is not what you think it is based on its name. It doesn't mean that it's every 100 years. And there have been quite a few recently. So you may want to look a little
So-
more into where that water is coming to. It's coming into this nice building you can build. You might want to have some considerations.
So we-
environment, you don't want the water coming up.
Agreed.
Your building, and
Yeah.
your building going into the lake.
So we are raising this, we're taking the existing slab out and re-pouring it at a higher elevation.
It's 386.
Yeah.
What's the proposed?
What was the number you used again?
It says 386.
I'm at 386.5. We're 6 inches above it.
Okay.
You're
That's-
laughing. You won't be laughing.
No, I won't be.
The next 5
No.
5-inch rainfall we have, which is about 2 miles down the road.
Yeah, I feel like we've had at least 3 of them.
And then if the regulated lake levels and they're, it's a region-wide problem, then it's not just nature, it's also closing it off at the upper end.
Yeah.
And we've run into that in the past few years too. Something you want to think about. And
Yes.
I definitely think about that because I don't want gas cans and junk going into the lake and building materials and
Fishing poles. Okay.
Yeah,
Oil.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to consider doing a different kind of foundation than what's there and lifting the whole thing up.
So,
Some kind
I
of
mean, that's only going to
Going
make
up.
it higher.
It is, right,
So-
yeah.
So what's the height? I'm not sure what we do there. We're triggering, you're going higher. So what's the height restriction total, Niels? Or-
30, it's 32 feet.
Is that's for accessory dwelling?
For any building there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
So-
so you're gonna be I mean, even if you were to go up, a couple feet,
Mhm.
and if it floods, water can go under the building.
They would prefer it did that, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's better for the client, still have
And then we still have to deal with how we're gonna get up to that,
Sure.
even that first floor. So now we're gonna be expanding it even more.
That way.
Well, just for the stairs to get up onto the first floor. Unless, well, I mean, we can maybe integrate that into the staircase.
it's less permeable surface on the ground.
Mhm.
Which is, I think probably a
With a plus for sure.
yeah.
So
And
basically
it
put
might,
it on
it might
stilts.
allow you to get your septic tank elevated as well. Yeah, I mean, I would be more in favor of lifting the whole thing higher and giving. I mean, if you're already asking for a height variance, which
Yeah.
you're gonna be doing anyway.
Yeah.
And we can go to 32 feet, but you're not gonna go that far.
Mhm.
Adding another 4, even 6, whatever,
You're looking like what? You're thinking of going more than that?
No, I wouldn't even think of that. No.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Wait, so what was the thing you just said about less permeable surface on
Well,
the ground?
you're raising the whole thing above.
Yeah, so if you get a flood event, right, and the water comes in under the building, it can percolate through all that shale, any, contaminants and things.
So that's more permeable surface.
If you
So
raise
now I
it
said
and
more
put it
than-
on
Or you said
stilts,
less, I
basically.
thought. So that, I don't know, I was getting
Oh, you-
confused.
Oh, I'm sorry,
But
yeah,
you-
if it's on stilts, there would be
more permeable.
more
Okay,
permeable.
More
good.
permeable.
Yeah.
That's good, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you did, I got confused. on that.
Interpreted.
Okay, so if you put it up on piers where the
Yeah,
water can pass around, we
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
And get it up off the ground so less things get
Yeah.
ruined and less
and then
things
it's
get.
not a
Yeah.
big shed down there with
Yeah,
stuff in it. and,
it's a little
boating.
counterintuitive because it's a
equipment.
higher,
Right.
like we don't want it higher, but
yeah. I mean.
It's higher for a good reason.
Visually, I don't think that's an issue because there's a huge cliff.
Yeah,
there.
can you tell
Exactly.
the height of the cliff? What is it there? Is it way above?
Um,
yeah.
Yeah,
Is it-
435 from
Oh, yeah.
384. You know, we're
So
talking.
that's nestled up, that this
50,
building will ultimately be
50.
nestled against the,
against the cliff.
and how close? Right against it?
No, I'd say there's maybe 6 or 8 feet or so behind it before at the toe of the slope.
Okay.
That's, you know, that's actually a major consideration too. I have some personal experience with building in an area like this, and those shell cliffs are shedding constantly.
Absolutely.
And that, you know, if you've got 6 inches on your slab at the back end right now, next year you'll have 3.
Yeah.
And the next year.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You're going to be up on your cladding.
Yep.
And before you know it, there's going to be shell 3 feet up on your back wall.
So
not kidding.
Now that you say that, I believe that, I mean, over the years, it's all come down and it's probably a foot or so above the existing floor at the back wall.
Yeah, right.
So
all that whole
point.
area that you're building on is
Sloughing,
shale that's shed off of that cliff.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to continue moving out.
Right. And this way, I mean, if it was lifted up enough that you could actually clear, you know, move some of it, push it out. I mean, depending on how you go, you wouldn't really need to.
Yeah, so that's going to be the key right there is how high is it going to go?
Yeah. I mean,
4 feet.
Over 100 years, right?
6
I mean,
feet.
it's gonna keep going. That shore is just gonna keep moving out.
Yep.
Are you done for a second?
Yeah.
Can you, this is existing tram, is that the old tram or the new tram?
That's the existing one.
That's the old one or the new
The
one?
existing one, the old one.
Old one.
Yeah.
And you said the other one is already in place?
Yes,
And where's that? So this one's gone then?
it is. I'm pretty sure it went in the same spot, didn't it?
It went,
It went,
exactly the same.
but extended longer, didn't it?
A little bit.
Okay, so then that little stair went away too.
So that stair.
I think this stair was. serving
Yeah, I
the-
don't think that stair is there right now.
Okay, so this is
I
the,
think that this stair was shown on here because of the tram.
yeah,
So the objective is, as this tram comes down, to maybe put a stop down here.
yeah, because
Yeah,
it's kind of
that-
overlapping your
Yeah.
house.
At the same time, we didn't really have
Can we-
any existing.
You okay?
I thought the tram got moved,
From the old one?
like
No.
over to here.
No,
Oh, no.
Okay.
not since I've been involved in it.
No,
Anyway.
it's.
And I don't think
So,
it's
so
been
the
bought
new,
out.
the new tram is installed.
Yeah.
And it's right close to-
Yeah, probably up there.
I mean, we can,
But yeah.
if it's an issue somewhere.
They use the same, you know.
If you're really serious about
whatever,
it.
Okay,
For the structure of it, they did put some new ones in.
Right.
But then they then they also put in, I'm not sure what, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what's on
A little, they put a little landing with the new one,
there.
Mhm.
Yes. a little round.
Right.
but they removed the old one.
Yeah,
They removed the old one?
yeah,
Okay, and they removed the stair that goes with the old one.
yeah. but then you've got that.
Yeah, it looks like it's overlapping right there, so that's.
Hmm.
I don't know, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't build it if that was true.
no, so if that's actually what's going on, we would adjust the deck accordingly.
Okay,
But-
yeah, that's the.
Right.
Yeah, because the tram is wider than the old one,
Yeah,
so when it goes down, they had to put a little deck with stairs where it lands, so I'm not sure what that shows, but it looks funny because it's sort of by itself, because if the tram's up there, then.
Mhm.
It should be landing now.
The little stair to nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
jump.
So they used to have all this, you know, I don't know.
So I'm very, going to focus very much on the potential contamination to the lake.
Yeah.
To the input into the.
From the
contamination
septic.
Input into the water, which is not really even groundwater at that point, it's just the right
It's
under the
lake
shale, and
water.
it's going right into the lake.
We're talking
Right
about,
into
we're
people's-
talking about rainwater from the roof.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
from anything, yeah, so if the water comes up and then, so Jonathan's point about the tank
Mhm.
being above and or sealed
Mhm.
to prevent any major problems.
Sure.
Stuff going in the lake or even directly into the ground there, which is virtually the lake, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might as well be.
Yeah, I mean-
Water. Is your water coming from there?
Yes.
Yep,
So
just like
I have-
everybody's.
Yeah.
I have
So
the
you want to
same
be, it's
concerns
for
about the
everybody,
water,
Yeah.
including Ms. Wilson, yeah. What else?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the lake, mean high water is 383.5. Currently where you've got the slab is 386. That's 2.5 feet. There's no tanks that wouldn't go down below. I mean, if you put the tank below the slab, it's gonna be in the water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah.
And that's
bit of a
mean high
bit-
water, so high water. You might, yeah,
It's a-
I think it'd behoove you not to just take these, diagrams and mean and things like that. Maybe look at high.
Yeah, all very good points. Yep. So, I'm, like I said, I'm gonna be on the phone with Andy tomorrow and I'll talk about all that stuff with him.
And you said is he GPSing the whole thing? I mean, he's got precision, that kind of precision?
No, we're just talking about what we're gonna do with the pump chamber and what
I thought you said he was gonna tell you about elevation or something.
well, he was trying to get a hold of somebody at the town, probably from codes, maybe Neil's, not sure, to find out where we have to put that tank.
Right.
Oh, for
elevation
codes.
wise.
For codes, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there may be a regulation
Yeah.
that says,
Yeah.
right.
And then, so sorry to be so pedantic, but
No.
how are you determining elevation?
Of,
You say you're gonna determine where to put it in elevation, how are you determining elevation?
He's asking meals.
That's it, right.
Yeah.
He's asking
If there's
meals.
a code that says you have to put. the
yeah,
tank-
or the codes department, not sure who would tell us that answer.
Might be Thomas County Health.
No, I don't think I
No.
stated that right. How are you telling what elevation that thing is that you're looking at? How do you know?
Oh, you go out there with a contractor, well,
Yeah, someone with high
yeah,
precision GPS. Yeah.
I don't know if it's high precision,
It's
it's a
gotta be.
stick. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but it's gotta be high precision, right?
Yeah, no, but Andy can shoot it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He can
right.
shoot the grades. Yeah.
yeah,
Or
but
somebody can.
yeah, when they shoot it, I wouldn't call that high precision.
Well,
It's pretty close.
I mean,
But-
within. Yeah, this map was set up with half foot, or.
Elevation too.
I think it's foot.
Elevation
Foot
too.
change, yeah. So.
Elevation too. Elevation too.
Yeah, it
Where's
looks
he
like they
shooting
got-
off of is what I wanna know. There's no benchmarks down there or anything.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, they have to be able, those contours are, I'm gonna say, very accurate.
From a survey.
Yeah.
From a survey.
From a
yeah.
survey.
Yeah, a surveyor will
Usually
go out.
surveys.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And if it comes right down to it, when they go down there to build it, they will shoot the
Yeah,
elevations
no, that's
as
fine.
they're building
Yeah,
it.
survey, yes, they are high resolution.
I'm concerned that this is too big of an ask. And that.
Too many things.
It's not
Or
gonna-
ask from us to
From
them.
us, yeah, and it's not gonna.
Oh, no, I don't think we should think
Yeah.
of it like that. We should
Okay.
think of what it is that we would like to see and have them have calculated it.
Right, but I would say make it smaller. Or make it, yeah, we could like it higher, so it's safer, but it's also a lot of like over the line, like getting too close to the lake and getting bigger. It just seems like a lot. From what I'm used to, I've been out here for a while and it's a lot. So I don't know what your
So you
goals
mean
are
it's an
exactly.
ask from them to us as opposed to we're asking them to provide too many things.
I'm saying that the variances they're asking for are probably too much for our board to approve as far as
I
our
agree.
history.
I kind
goes.
of agree. It's getting.
And I'm just trying to maybe mention that so that if there is possible to reduce the amount of
So
If
how
it's
are
a-
you
if
okay
it's
with
a- If
height?
it's a single variance and it's just height, you're conforming to the footprint.
And
Yeah,
are you
something
okay with
like
the height
that.
that's being proposed?
Like a cantilever deck, only height,
Yeah.
maybe going backwards away from the lake a little, but not towards,
To
stuff
me,
like.
it has to do with is the impact of what they're asking going to be major compared to what's there now, right? And my opinion would be that going vertical, sticking to that footprint and going vertical, is or doing a combination of going vertical and having cantilever, because Neil said that that's within the what's allowed.
Only if it's an open deck.
No, I wanted to
Yes.
ask Niels, how
If
much
it's an
of a
open deck.
cantilever? Because that was a good question Jonathan had. I thought we ran into this before and we didn't allow more than a certain amount of cantilever.
Well, he's only going to be able to do about a third. The typical rule of thumb
Structurally,
is
yeah.
structurally, yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
So like 3 feet. or
yeah,
something.
well, depends on what direction you're going. I don't see any need for having a deck on the backside.
Other than if we're gonna introduce the tram
The
stop.
stair, yes. Right.
Other than that, I agree with you.
Yeah,
Or a little
So,
bridge over to the
yeah,
other.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
anyway,
it doesn't have to be 4 feet. No,
Yeah.
I mean, we can knock it down to 3.
my point is that if it maintains the footprint and it just goes up, so it's just one variance, and it's up off the ground so that there's more permeable surface,
Mhm.
it may actually be
Improving. what's there.
improving that what's there now,
I
right?
kind of like that when we say, well, we're improving something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But that's a lot to that's a lot of redraw, because we're saying don't overlap by 2 feet on each side. Don't do the supports for the deck. I mean, it's a different project. And so I just
Well, I'm
thought we
assuming
should talk about that.
this is, pretty schematic at this point.
Yeah, we haven't gone anywhere beyond this.
Yeah, right, because we gotta get approval first.
Yeah, so you're welcome to apply for these variances, but if you want to try to get it through the first time, I think I would try to reduce it, but if that's really what you want, and go for it and. see
Yeah,
what
I
happens.
don't feel like we're ever gonna get down to 1 variance.
Mhm.
Why not?
Because we're still expanding a non-conforming structure. We're still going
The footprint,
vertical.
you mean, you're expanding that way.
Yeah, because of the stairs. Well, now we have, I mean, it would be nice to be able to incorporate a stair from the shore up to the first floor and then up to the second floor. But that's where we're expanding a non-conforming building.
Yeah, but if it was just the stairs.
You know,
Mhm,
and then we're going vertical,
mhm.
and then we still have the posts that are inside the floodplain.
Right, those I think.
I mean, even if I pull everything back a foot,
Mhm.
it doesn't help me. As far as how many of them are in the floodplain.
Mhm. Right. Are they necessary though? I mean.
Well, I mean, I could put 45-degree braces all the way around it.
Right.
I could.
Right.
And that's, to be honest with you, that's how I started. And then I started thinking to myself, oh, I would rather have columns, but
Yeah, but if that,
it can be done.
if that eliminates one variance.
Agreed.
That's.
Yeah.
And also, and actually does keep it back from the lake and
Yeah.
less visually kind of
Yeah,
encroaching and.
right.
And Neil, sorry to bug you again. If you expand the footprint, then you also trigger the other variance of being too close to the lake.
It depends which way you're expanding. Like if he's going towards the lake, yes, obviously that does. If he's expanding the footprint at all, that's still an expansion regardless of whether or not it's towards the lake or in a northeast fashion, if you get my meaning.
Yeah. Yeah, you could, right, if you.
So you wouldn't have the third variance then?
I mean, I think this was Jonathan's recommendation or question, is if instead of doing the deck as proposed, if the roof became a deck, that would eliminate, one variance right there.
Right.
And then it's just a matter of how do you reconfigure the stairs.
Right.
No.
How does that eliminate a variance?
Because you're not
Getting closer to the
getting
line, getting closer to the lake.
yeah,
Oh, because we're eliminating the deck.
right, yeah. Yeah, if the roof is the deck. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that if you, you know, like you said, if we're making something that has less impact than what's there, I think that's
That's
the way,
fair.
that's what you need to think about, is how do I make this become a building that has less impact than what's already there? Then it's gonna be hard to say no to it.
And the height is kind of the least, I mean, because the cliff
With
is
that-
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and with that cliff behind it, you know, we passed that other one that
And
was
the fact that it
against
can
the
get
cliff
higher up
and
off
it's
the
like,
ground, it seems
it's
like,
not ruining sight lines, it's not unsightly.
if it was right out on the water and it was super
Oh,
high,
yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
that'd be
yeah,
different.
oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't look at it.
but this is like, seems like it's kind of tucked in.
yeah, right, it's not gonna block any views down the lake, it looks like. Yeah.
No, I mean, I can't think now, standing out there, can you even see any of the properties?
No,
To the north, you
nobody
mean?
can really see the shed, it's so small, because it's very, because it's in a little cove.
Right,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so-
what about from the lake though, but from the
Oh,
lake,
you can see it,
right, so
right.
there's a,
Yeah.
you know, lots of people that
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
experience that from the lake.
Yeah.
Right. but again, you're looking, you know, the backdrop is the cliff, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask some questions?
Sure,
So do we need stilts as well, I guess? Yeah, because you're right, the water is going up. I mean,
Oh, yeah, we all
the high
know.
water mark is-
it's a fact, you can't deny it.
And I have wondered about that, and how do we know how far to go?
That's just it, yeah. Yeah, how far do I how far do I lift it?
What would you say, a couple feet is?
I think it's gotta be more than a
It
couple,
would be a minimum, I'd say.
maybe 4.
But then you have to account for, if the water does come up there occasionally, then you're not really ruining everything, it's not all sloughing off,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
the environment.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I feel like everybody uses that mean high water line for everything.
Well, they do, but it doesn't mean it's the thing to do.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Changing.
that being the case, everybody should start backing off of it,
Mhm.
you know?
And
And I'm not just
They
talking
control
here,
that.
everybody.
everyone that comes in here hears that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm
So
sure.
the trick with that is gonna be, how do you're gonna have to insulate your ejection, your line.
Hmm.
I mean, you gotta get that line up over the cliff anyway, so you've got issues to deal with.
Yeah, right.
How are you gonna do that?
What line are we talking about?
You have
With
a,
septic.
you have
Pump
a,
the sewage,
you have a sewage line that's gonna be constantly full of sewage. With a
Well,
backflow preventer. That's how it works. What's that?
Well, the water line already goes up and the
Yeah.
the electric
Right, and your water line, yeah.
also.
I think the water line is.
So how do you
insulated.
insulate them from freezing?
There, yeah, well, the year that I bought the house, it froze, it was probably one of your coldest winters. I had no
No
water.
water.
So Hubbard came out and they put some kind of insulation.
Okay,
And so it has not frozen.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's in like
Now
a
very
6-inch
cold winter.
PVC
yeah,
now.
so you'll have to do
All
something.
three.
But okay,
when
so
was that?
that's, so
When
it's
did you
not,
buy that?
as long, I
I
mean,
got
and there's a
it in,
pathway already with
2020.
other stuff.
So
Oh.
it probably was 2020.
Pretty recently then, yeah, right.
Yeah, but the house, it was like 15 years old when I bought it,
Mhm.
and, I don't know how long they owned it, but they had torn down the old house before that, and I think that's where the shed came in.
Oh, right.
It's really, really old, and it was like was it a live roof?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, right, living roof, right, perfect.
Couldn't tell whether.
Very
it just had stuff
environmental.
Growing on it or.
But anyway, yeah, so, yeah, well, no, this is very helpful, because the shale's there, and I see.
It's gonna keep sloughing,
It
guaranteed.
does,
Yeah,
but
for
you know
sure.
that-
Every winter, every rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the freeze thaw is the main thing that
Mhm.
causes it to break off. Like every spring, I've been hit by it before.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it comes down, and sometimes in big hits.
Yeah, when it goes, it wants to go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, for that reason, having, 4 feet would not be, even if you went 6 feet, or 5 feet so that someone could get underneath there and, clean stuff out.
Because at that point, I don't think it really matters much, but it's like everything else. Where do you stop? So, okay.
Does that help? Does that help at all?
It helps a
You get a
ton.
sen- You get a sense for, there's only 3 of us here tonight.
How many are there usually?
Well, 5.
Okay.
And so we're not guaranteeing that if you do these things.
I understand
we'll
that,
put you
yeah.
through, right? But it would be nice to see a lot more and have a lot of thought. One of the things I personally always feel like, well, did you consider anything else, or is this just something you got in your mind, you're gonna do it this way? So considering alternatives is great. It's a great way to go.
Yeah.
I think Cheryl told you about, I think all 3 of us feel better going up a little bit as opposed to, asking for 3 variances, you cut it down to fewer if possible.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Sorry to be really
Go ahead.
doing this over and over again, but Niels, are you still there? Oh, look, he has his hand up.
Oh, good. Niels.
Did you want to say something to us?
I just did a very basic, quick calculation when you guys were talking about height. So if you did like a cross-section analysis of where the proposed foundation is in relation to the top of bank or the top of the cliff, that's 48 feet. So it's well under that 32 feet. So, if there was like a rooftop deck, it shouldn't cause any site impact to anyone there.
Even if you went up a few feet, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there, are we done with that? So Niels, the
Yep.
topic of triggering, like does him adding footprint area trigger some other thing? Like if he adds the square footage to the back, like he increases the footprint towards the cliff, kind of, if that's possible. Does it still like disqualify him from being a existing non-conforming thing in relation to like it's okay to be this close to the lake?
That's what I was asking earlier.
Yeah, because I know.
Are you talking about the footprint?
Steve keeps saying triggering, and
because there's a difference between the footprint and the floor area.
Mm-hmm.
The footprint is the part that's
touching the
grade,
yeah,
or the posts that are touching the grade. If you come up and you're bigger above that, but there's no post going down. So what's your what's the question?
Well, he has
is it the footprint?
He has posts out there
that
are increasing the footprint.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
This says per CTU 212-156, substantial restoration of non-conforming building is prevented provided the proposed footprint is no larger than the existing and the proposed height does not exceed the existing. So I guess I'm saying if either of those 2 things are messed with, the footprint or the height,
the posts are within the.
Does that mean it's no longer qualified to be that close to the lake? Like, is there a triggering of the other thing or not, or don't we know?
I'm not exactly sure I get the question, but
I think it's still expansion because of the staircase.
It is still an expansion, correct? Because of the way the staircase is currently drawn up.
Yeah, but even so, the only way to fix that is to take the staircase out.
But you could.
Do you see what I'm asking though? Anyone?
Is this the question I asked earlier? Like, when you move the footprint, expand the footprint,
right?
Does it kick in the other?
Does it kick in like
too close to
like
the
right
lake?
now? He's allowed to be this close to the lake. That if he doesn't increase the footprint and he doesn't get higher, then the the getting too close to the lake is not an issue.
And Neil said if he doesn't expand toward the lake, it doesn't trigger the lake.
Correct. So the way the stairs are currently, it is getting closer to the lake. So there would have to be a redesign in some fashion for the stairs to not trigger. Yeah.
Okay, okay, but forget about the stairs. All right, so say he doesn't increase the footprint at all, and he just makes it higher.
Yep.
Is that still kind of taking away his non-conforming existing status? That's okay to be that close to the lake,
Yeah, because he's higher. Oh, I get it, right?
or does it just need a variance for being higher?
It would be a variance for getting higher.
And it wouldn't mean he has to get a variance for being too close to the lake. He doesn't
Correct.
lose his
Correct.
status of that. Okay. So there's no,
That's a good one. No trick.
I'm not saying it very well, but it sounds like
That's
there's
it.
no
Yeah,
trigger.
I was, asking
Okay.
the same thing. It's like, oh, what do we do?
Okay, so
Right, because
that would be
the
good.
building as is conforming. Because
It's a legal document.
it's a legal non-conforming, right? So if you maintain that footprint, you're still conforming, or you're still legal.
Legal, yeah.
If you go up, then you need a variance for it.
Just
But this
going up
also-
because
Nothing
it's-
else.
This thing in the staff memo says that going up is not allowed with the non-conforming building also. But it's not clear whether it triggers the
Yeah,
whole thing about
right,
the
right. It's a no.
setback. Yeah. Anyway, let's say it doesn't. Sounds like it doesn't.
Yeah, so right, so going up would make it non-conforming, and that's why he would need a variance for going up.
Then it would be legal non-conforming.
But I still need a staircase to get to it.
Yeah, so you would have to, in order to have one variance, you would have to put that staircase either off of your, in the air, right?
In the air?
You know,
Is
from
that what you said?
from
Yeah, so
the
higher up, yeah.
from going from your tram or this
Oh.
existing land, staircase to it, right? So you're not increasing the footprint, right?
Well, so that's a really good question. So there's an existing deck down there.
That would be excellent. If you could just go a bridge across.
So if I run a staircase off of that existing deck,
Yeah.
even if I need a bridge, to the deck on the second floor,
Right.
that's not increasing the nonconformity of the existing structure.
I don't think so, because your footprint,
Yeah, if
hasn't
it doesn't
changed,
have
but,
any
yeah.
posts and it doesn't have any roof, then
yeah.
That's
Seems
fun,
to me
too.
that's
It'll be fun.
right. Plus, it's a nice way to get into the building, right? And then you
I
can
think
come
so.
out that and go down the stairs.
Yeah.
You're not,
Right, that are off the deck.
to me, that was also, if we're talking about impact, you're using what's already there.
Right.
We are talking
You're not creating more
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
that's, right? So,
yeah, we should all stay focused on the impact and not just the variances. That's
Yes,
Yeah.
excellent idea. Very good thoughts.
Yeah, this guy's good. All right, does that help? I mean, is
Can't
that-
resist the desire.
It helps
to
a ton.
change.
It does help a ton. I mean, it's always tough going into a new board that you're not familiar with.
Not that tough.
Everybody has a different ordinance, and unless you're gonna spend the time going through every single line,
Sure. Sure.
and well, I don't have that time.
And then the board, these like the zoning appeals is, you're already kind of, you wouldn't be here if you weren't outside of the rules, structure. And then we all have different personalities too. I don't mean on the board, which is true too, but
Yeah.
all boards do.
Yep, I agree with that. Okay, anything else you can think of?
So what would you like to see if we bring this to the next level? A couple different designs or one specific that covers our?
yeah, I mean, we could also, in order for him not to spend a lot of money without knowing that it's gonna go through, we could also require that the variant, have stipulations in the variance, right? That he's gotta be, that the only variance is height, say, and that he has to show us some sort of a information or planning or design that deals with the sewer, elevation and anything else that we find that we feel like.
I think recommendations, I don't feel comfortable with the stipulation at this point. We can do that later,
Okay.
but we can't do that now.
Yeah,
Oh,
what are we-
yeah.
I can't speak for anybody else who's.
Got it, right.
Yeah, what are we?
Well, What?
This is just a conversation. So
Nothing,
yeah,
we're just
so our,
talking-
yeah, so our
We're
recommendation
helping
is
this move
to,
along toward.
yeah, is to come back with something that
Reduce the impact on what you have.
reduces the impact.
Yeah, you heard some things
Yeah.
here. Impact, environmental, damage,
I
some
have a-
consideration for you guys.
I have a
are
list.
important.
Yeah, but reducing variances also, like strategically is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
reducing variance is pretty high up
the
there.
less you ask, the easier it is to say, yeah.
True. So Niels,
Yes.
so we were talking a little bit about running the staircase to the guest house off of the existing deck.
Yep.
Does that help us as far as expanding non-conforming structure?
I think I heard both Jonathan and Cheryl in alignment with how I see it is that it's you're using the existing, existing wood landing and stairs, expanding that, and you should be okay. I wouldn't see that as needing a variance or expanding.
I think it helps everything.
Good, I like that, great.
And the stilts would help.
And the stilts will help.
Stilts,
What stilts?
stilts for you to walk around on?
To get up, to get the building.
Because we're raising it, basically
Oh,
raising
yeah.
it up. So
I
now it's
agree.
gonna be on,
Years or stilts or whatever.
Yeah.
Excellent. Is that helpful?
Thank you guys all very
Yeah,
much.
Get us all toward the right.
Just one-
Sure.
Well, I guess we were told that since we have a toilet and sink, that we need to have a bathtub.
Or
Is
shower.
that not in your, oh, no, this probably isn't.
These
That's
guys
building
might know,
code.
but I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know.
wow.
You have to have a bathtub?
I didn't either, evidently.
You mentioned you could have would you ever approve an outdoor shower?
Well, this is a seasonal thing, right? This is not
It's
a,
a seasonal, yeah, no, there's
Yeah.
no way, the spiders will be.
I would, I love outdoor showers.
I
I
know.
would
but-
approve.
well, yeah, that's the code
Not
guy,
for me.
but,
That's a code.
I'm surprised that, yeah, if it's a seasonal thing.
An outdoor shower, as long as it's plumbed into your
I don't know. what
Septic.
code-
septic,
Yeah.
fine.
That,
But they
that's,
said you need a
okay.
tub though.
but I don't think we can do that. That's the
Yeah,
code
let's-
guy, right?
That's somebody. Who's? is
Well,
that the planning?
Any
Code
wastewater,
enforcement.
any
Code enforcement.
wastewater's gotta go into.
You can't, yeah, you just can't pump it into the
Yeah,
water.
so if he designed an outdoor shower that where it was all
Plumbing goes into the plumbing.
plumbing.
Right, but if someone's requiring a shower from them, I don't wanna tell them they can have an outdoor
Well, they
shower,
required a
because
shower
that's
or a
not our
tub? What'd you say?
jurisdiction.
Well, either, you have to have
Either.
one or the other.
But
Yeah.
it said also they had to be inside.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's, you should
Oh,
stick with
yeah.
whoever you're talking to, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't wanna
I
get in
Okay,
there.
I'm
I
sorry.
know.
Showers are not zoning.
And then
Outside of our-
that whole outdoor shower plumbing thing, what do you do in the rains? Like, you probably have to have something to cover it up, the drain,
Yeah, or maybe.
because it always
it's-
comes up.
Put a little roof
Maybe
over
it's
it.
got a roof over it, I don't know.
Good point, good question.
Thank you, thank
Another
you all.
Thank you so much for your time, yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, Neil.
What's up, Niels? You got something to add?
Just real quick before Eric
Go
leaves.
ahead.
So we need at least 10 days. Staff needs at least 10 days to get materials out for the public for a public hearing. If you guys think that you're comfortable looking at a February 18th hearing date, what time would you need materials submitted from Eric? You want 2 weeks?
You talking to us or to Eric?
He's talking to you.
I'm talking to the board.
Oh, sorry.
Week's fine for me.
Wait, what?
When for him to give us materials before the meeting?
Submit materials for the next meeting.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably just talking to him, so I wasn't listening.
Me too.
Sorry, Niels. Could you say it again? We thought you were talking to Eric.
How soon do you want amended materials? 2 weeks before the hearing?
I prefer 2 weeks.
1 week isn't.
I prefer 2 weeks.
Okay.
1 week isn't 1 week just isn't enough, Cheryl. We need at least 10 days.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
okay.
And he
Yeah.
needs 10 days for the public too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
right.
thought you meant me personally. Or us personally, whatever.
So 2 weeks prior to the 4th or the 18th?
That would be the next. Correct. February 18th would be the next meeting. Otherwise, you're looking at March 18th.
Okay.
Right. And usually, the day after our meeting is the last time I apply for the next meeting. So we're good with that.
Thank you again.
Thanks again.
Oh, thank you.
Right.
We'll see you soon. Hopefully. Okay, we can't do the minutes because we don't have a quorum.
If I can interject real quick
Yes,
before you move on from this project. So the
sure.
planning board last night gave notice to act as lead agency for the environmental review.
Oh, I'm gonna sign that. I'm okay with that.
You're good with that? Okay. Did the board have any comments on the environmental review for the planning board? Or should we put no comment at this time?
Need to be higher, the floor needs to be higher above the lid.
Those kind of comments, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, for this, what, for the project? For this
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got recommendations.
Yeah, all the things we just said.
Yeah, all the
Everything we just
things.
said.
The
Yeah.
sewer, the floor, the type of foundation.
Yeah.
The amount of
The stair access off. the
Impact,
existing
the
section.
impact was big for us.
impact on the shore, yeah.
I'll work with Lori. Steve, is it good if I run that by you before we send it to the planning board?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thanks.
You're just gonna send it by email?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure, yes. As I say to everybody, I teach all day Friday, so tough luck for you if you need anything from me on Friday. Thursday's not looking too good for you either, it usually works.
What for you?
It's a grueling day. It's fun though.
What classes do you teach?
I'm in this fall, I do agroforestry,
Oh, nice.
mostly out, all outside. We actually meet outside only. It's
Only?
That's
have a little
great.
table only, yeah. It's cool, it's fun.
That's great. This is over Cornell.
Yeah, there's a nut grove that some guy made in the 1920s or 1930s or something. And he went around collecting like prime specimens from people and grew them and then grafted them onto existing nut trees. He's like, literally. Anyway,
Down in
so we
Apple.
teach down there. It's great. We have also
Not
put,
suggestion.
we put pawpaws in and all sorts of other agroforestry things. And then I put a big table out in the middle. We make a little makeshift classroom, logs all around. And I always bring the nutcrackers, so we're cracking nuts and eating things people bring in. It's great. They're freezing toward the end of the semester, and then so we
Bring me a pawpaw if you want. That's
You want it? Want a treat? Keep reminding me.
Okay, I've got a
I have
couple
bunch of seedlings.
of the native persimmons growing, and I got my
Do you?
first 3 persimmons this year.
Ooh, nice.
They're so good.
Nice, really?
Yeah.
They never did it for me,
Wow.
Yep, pawpaws.
Wait, are we still having a meeting?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
what?
track.
Is that it, Niels?
Or we,
Your comments?
Did you agree on the meeting dates? I didn't quite catch that. Like the
No, that's
third
the next
Wednesday?
thing. That's the last thing. We're gonna forget the minutes for this time. And the meeting schedule was every Wednesday. Is everybody okay with it?
Yep,
No, Wednesdays suck.
yeah, because you have to play soccer.
Yeah.
John Paul told me.
I mean, I would rather not be on Wednesdays. Yeah.
One of the problems was
Yeah.
getting this place scheduled.
That's fine.
That is the.
It's only once a month, so.
And sometimes not.
Okay.
Right, sometimes not. It's a
It's
good
been since September was the last time we met.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. I'll live with it.
And we've gone through this before. It's like, okay, well, what did we propose? And it really wasn't us. It was more like, oh, you can't do it then because they have, the other committee has this, and you can do it then because of court. Yes, okay, on Wednesday. So I should sign that?
Mhm.
All right, I'll sign that.
Okay.
What else?
Do you want to talk vice chair or do you want to kick that to the next meeting?
So wait till we have a couple more people here.
All right, sounds good.
Unless, you want to be vice chair?
What does vice chair do?
Do it.
You're chair when the chair is not.
Oh,
Or should we
I
stick
would,
Andy
but I
with
would
it?
mess it up.
No, you wouldn't.
So, do they tell you what to do? Like, you guys
There's no
talk?
they. There's no they.
No, like, you talk to Niels more than the. rest
Oh,
of
but
us
he
do.
wasn't even here when I started, right?
Mhm. I'm just saying, do you get support to get it right? Like, do you know what to read?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, I don't check with him. I just do it. I write it up and keep doing the same thing.
He's an old.
I do ask him
hat.
questions,
I would
like
try
we
it.
all
I'll
do.
just say, Annie's fine too, if he wants to do it, but I would try it, but
You would?
I would
Oh,
try it
okay,
on a
okay.
trial basis.
I'll give you. You notice I write it. I kind of write it up. Little notes, everything.
But if Annie's in the mood, then that's great. Actually, how is he doing? You know?
He's doing okay, apparently.
Okay.
He was coming this.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, let's wait till next time.
Yeah, let's wait for that. We're gonna wait till next time for vice chair. In the minutes, since only two of us here. Okay, we're
Okay,
good.
so Jonathan, are you
stopping?
oh,
I'm going to in a second.
you alternate? Are you on?
No, he's on. That's what I asked originally.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
We
official.
don't have alternate then. Yeah.
We have no alternates, correct, Niels?
That is correct.
All right, so we're in the market for a couple of alternates.
Okay.
Great. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Yes, motion made.
Motion
All in
seconded.
favor? Second.
Aye.
Aye. All right, good. That's carries, the motion carries. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.